The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the previous show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from from the Hall of F. There it is. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
The feather serpent god.
My bad. I didn't realize you took on a new title.
Thank you, M'Baku. Go back to defending your people.
There it is.
Buddy.
There it is. Next, he is the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler, and resident strongman, Moses.
Ah!
Magnum. Moses. It's you here. Let me help you out here. Moses. Magnum.
He misspelled serpent.
Indeed.
I was
myself.
I was updating our Hive. It's
okay.
Yeah. Hive
I'm sorry to hear that.
Praise Elon.
Praise Elon. Like, Elon is our first feathered serpent god. No.
I ain't feathered. He's a skin turkey, but yeah.
Skin.
I see him without a shirt on.
My name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you about the Netflix series Wednesday. And we're going to also be talking to you all about Andor, a Star Wars story, Andor. So we got that, and of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. And we'll tell you how it is you can do that in just a moment. But first, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, whole show not existing. So we want to make sure we thank Scott Rubin. Hope you're doing well, sir. I guess we should go ahead and have the intern tell us about how you can be part of the show.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Thank you, intern. Go to fantasticforum.live. You can jump into the show, be the coveted fourth member of Fantastic Forum today. Jay's out, so you can steal Jay's spot. At the very least for today. I can't say for a period, but it depends on how good you are. If you're good enough, maybe. Be like, hey, Jay, sorry, you're the fifth member now.
We should start before everything, because it is a special week. We are celebrating the birth of someone that very, very special to us, a titan in the comic book space. Brought a lot of joy to our lives than the time we've known him. My brother actually came to the shop today hoping to talk about that. But Larry, you weren't there to talk to him about it. And I just wanted to wish a happy birthday to the great Humberto Ramos. His birthday was on Monday.
There it is. Humberto Ramos. He's a treasure.
Yeah.
he's a treasure.
But But also Larry.
Oh, Larry. Wait, who? Never heard of him. Larry? Look, that's the unfeathered serpent demon.
I can't wait to actually put that on Disney Plus so I can get a cleaner.
Indeed.
Did you go see it again to get it, or
no? Because it would still sound like crap if I just had like. Plus, they look at you suspicious. You walk in with like recording equipment, So
You'd be surprised. Like your phone. I mean, you got an iPhone. Like you'd surprised this audio you could get out of that in the theater.
let's just say the Academy Award copies are out, and
You're
that
consistent.
allowed me to procure that clip. It's just, and I try to get it from the trailers, but there's so much like music and stuff going on behind. Just like I had to. That's why I couldn't get. I didn't have it last week ready. I couldn't find any clean copy of it.
It's funny. But yeah, thanks, Mo. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it was my birthday. It was awesome. It was a fun time. I wish you could have been around, Oz. I'm sorry that you're away. But
No, you're not. I would have ruined it.
You wouldn't have. It would have been fantastic.
Oh, challenge accepted.
He's like, don't worry, I will ruin next year. There it is. So, but yeah, man, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Chat. You can also chat with us, whether you're watching us on Twitch or in YouTube. You know, we'll take your comments directly out of chat and bring them into the show. Such as Mo, can you insert witty chat comment here? Bam.
Says Tire Claw says, what's up, Fantastic Forum? What you thought of the new Super Mario Bros. Movie trailer?
Did you all get to see that?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I accidentally added a question mark to it, so I was gonna re-repeat. But it's okay. The audience gets what we say, what we mean. I didn't see it. The less Chris Pratt I have in my life, the better. So.
What'd you think of it, Oz?
I'm gonna watch the movie either way. Like something horrible has to be shown in those trailers for me to not watch it. And who's playing Luigi? Charlie Day?
I think so.
I thought Charlie Day was the Toadstool guy.
Toad?
Yeah.
Like I can look real quick.
Yeah, Charlie Day is playing Luigi. Toad is Keegan Michael Key.
Okay, that's good. He should have been Mario.
Dude, Keegan Michael Key would have been a great Mario.
Yeah, he's dude's amazing. I watch him in Reboot, which is great, and then he's the new spokesman for Paramount Plus. So they do the skit of like the one where the teacher that mispronounces the names, and then
Aaron.
Yeah, so he's doing that with all the properties of Paramount. So it's like
that's hilarious.
Bumblebee, and it's like Bumblebee.
Bumblebee play.
Then he says Aaron and dude comes out.
It's Aaron, and it's actually the dude named Aaron. Football player or something.
I played a guy in Marvel Snap whose name was Aaron.
What was it like? A space Ron?
I think it was Dash. I think it was A Ron. Aaron. Say what?
I hope you beat him.
I did.
I don't believe it.
I was like, oh, say Aaron. I was like, hello, Aaron. No, like I needed chat. I was like, I wanted to give him props for the name, but
I seen your screenshot. I thought you beat him.
Say, oh, how dare you? How dare you?
So we're talking about the trailer.
Yeah.
I was glad to finally hear Charlie Day. You get a little bit of Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach.
Dude,
surprises with the Kongs showing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's I was gonna watch it anyway, and I haven't seen anything to dissuade me from that.
Gotcha. Can I just say, but it's I don't want to missay her name. It's Anna or Anya? It's Anna, right?
I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Anya.
It's
Anya.
Anya.
Anya. No.
Like Kanye, but with an A and no K.
It's like Kanye without the anti-Semitism.
Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach is phenomenal. Like, the reaction I had to her was almost like the opposite that I had to Chris Pratt's Mario. Because, that initial little one from before where I was like, oh, that doesn't sound like it's going to be great. In this, there's some parts of it that sound a little bit better, and there's some parts of it where I'm just like, oh, it's weird because
the shock's gone, so it's like you already know you're like ready for disappointment. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, here's the thing. It's not that I don't even think he's going to do a bad job. I think he's just going to be a mediocre Mario. And that's the problem, where it's like everything else is coming across like really top notch. Like the preview made the movie seem like it's going to be really cool. And I'm just like, man, like I actually, like, I was already kind of excited for it because I love what they're doing with the whole Bowser thing and with Jack Black, like encapsulating Bowser, like that all like feels 100% like great tone. It looks good, and they make some changes obviously to like some of the character designs, but they're small changes and it doesn't feel like it's anything that will make it feel less Super Mario like. But the stuff I saw in this trailer, I was like, wow, like they're doing a lot of different stuff. Like they're like a lot of little Easter eggs to different iterations of Super Mario, and I'm like, that's gonna be kind of cool. Like
every game he's ever been in, they got Galaxy in
there. Yeah, they got Galaxy references, they got Mario 3 references, they got Mario Kart references. So I'm just like, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Like,
I haven't seen Dr. Mario, but I wouldn't put it past them.
How about the Rabbids?
No, they're not gonna be Rabbids.
Was Mario in Rabbids? I thought that was the competition.
No, there's a whole like franchise of them together.
Yeah,
like
you haven't played that?
I mean, look, did they have Sonic? I mean, he was in a game with Sonic, wasn't he?
That was my next question.
Oh, I read your mind. Great mind.
No. Listen, it's a Super Mario Brothers movie. There's no reason for there to be Rabbids or Sonic.
You said almost every iteration. I'm gonna see which ones there aren't.
I mean, of Super Mario Brothers.
Fireclaw chat bringing up. What about Smash Brothers? Like, let's get Final Fantasy in there. Let's get Link. Where's Link? Why ain't got Link?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, because he's small and gay. They exclude him.
No, I think Link is because Link is
gay.
Link is actually the movie that they watch. That's the story of Mario saving the princess.
Oh.
It's the adaptation of Mario's Adventures.
You're right. His companion is a fairy. My mistake. I apologize.
Like, about to get canceled, Oz. Just you though, not us.
Lead by a fairy. What's her name?
Navi? Hey.
Navi?
Hey,
I'm just saying, up. Don't be mad. Don't be mad at me when I'm like, oh, I don't know him. I don't know him. Never heard of him.
Oz needs a fairy to tell him when to shut up.
They'll never find me.
Listen, we forget the El Cuckoo Khan clip. We need the friggin' grunts. So when Oz starts saying crazy stuff, we just shut him down. Like, ooh, 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 ooh. We just need those ape noises. So like, oh, Oz, you about to say some craziness. Shut him down.
I will say whatever the. Hold on, I'm gonna get something right
back. There it is. So, but no, it looks fun. And I'm with you, Oz. Like, I can't imagine anything happening even before the first trailer came out that was gonna make me not see this movie. But yeah, like it seems like it's gonna be a blast, honestly. And I'm just like, man, Peach, like I'm excited. I'm more excited to see her than Mario at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
Mario, everything. Like Mario started talking in, it's Chris Pratt. Peach started talking out like, hey, it's Peach.
Mm-hmm.
And like I knew who was playing her, so
yeah,
she's talented.
She is.
She was the best part of New Mutants.
She was. She was 100%.
Of course, that sounds very difficult with that movie.
No, it's a low bar, but it's still true.
But she could have phoned it in, like
right. Tiger Club says, I love that the levels from the game are used for Mario's training. Man, I don't even know that I picked up on that.
Yeah,
So
they had. It wasn't one of the levels, but it was like I guess Mario. There's a game designer Mario, right? Isn't there a Mario version where you design it?
Mario Maker,
level maker, something like that. And
Yeah.
it was kind of vertical, and he's using that for training.
Why do you act like you've never played any Nintendo games, Oz? Like, why are you?
I've never played the level maker game. I hate making levels for people. I did them. If they don't
I'm
pay
just
me, I ain't
my
gonna
guy. Super Mario Maker is a game that exists that even if you don't want to make levels, you don't have to make any levels to play that game, right?
I didn't know that. It's called Super Mario Maker.
Right, but you can play other people's levels.
Same reason I don't play Minecraft. I'm not gonna build stuff for you.
I don't know. I mean, I know you can visit
my
other people's worlds in Minecraft, but I don't know how that works because I don't play Minecraft.
It works like Super Mario Maker.
I don't think it does.
Well, I wouldn't know. I had to play either one.
I don't think it does. I feel like Minecraft might work a little bit more like whatchamacallit, right? Like
Fringe?
Animal Crossing?
Oh no, it ain't like Animal Crossing.
No? Why not?
Well, because Animal Crossing, what it is, it's you get into a capitalist predatory system and you start in debt from the moment you're born. Whereas in Minecraft, you you get into a game where you have to mine for resources to build things so that you can build things to kill these things that are trying to destroy your things.
It's like a tower defense or something, right?
Kinda.
I'm just talking about visiting other people's worlds. Like you can't just
I don't want to do that.
Like to visit other people's worlds in Minecraft, don't you have to be invited or someone has to like?
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah,
but you can still wreck them. Like I can go to like Emily's Island and just dig up holes
if she lets you.
Yeah.
Right.
They're married, so it's half his island.
Well, we're married, so she don't have to let me do anything. I'm gonna do it anyway.
No, whoa, okay.
I expect to see the chanclet.
I know. Look, I was like, we'll see if Mo's on next week.
Oh, we have a response from Pat.
Whoa, there it is. Subculture girl, I will cut you. Like, I believe her.
I told her not to listen.
She loves you.
No,
she will cut you.
She cut you. There it is. So anyway, but yeah, Super Mario movie. It's gonna be interesting. Gents.
Well, while we're on the topic of shit,
wow.
Did you guys watch the? I'm sorry, shit Pratt. Did you? Did you watch that Christmas Galaxy Christmas thing? Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas thing?
I watched it, and that's why I brought it up to you guys, because as soon as I was done, and that's literally when I texted you guys. As soon as I was done, I wanted to make sure that you guys shared in my misery. If I gotta watch it, you gotta watch it. Although Chris Pratt was probably like the best thing in it.
Well, I wasn't gonna watch it because I respect Abnett and Lanning. And
I too am a fan of Abbott and Costello.
But
DNA.
I actually did watch it, and I love Christmas. Fuck Abnett and Lanning.
Damn. Okay. Wow.
I like. There was like no Chris Pratt in it. Like 5 minutes total. And,
he was. Yeah.
And as much as I hate the Guardians movies, I love fucking Drax. Like it's just I don't. If anybody else played Drax in that iteration, that characterization of Drax, it would be garbage. And but something about it's just those lines, the way he says them, and does the thing that they make Drax do in these movies. it just works for Batista. And then him teaming up with Mantis. Mantis is another one that I love, that I hate from that, from a movie I hate. So having the little team up with them, I loved it. And it reminded me a lot of that one Justice League comic where Superman's just getting gifts for the rest of the Justice League. And
Mhm.
kind of out of continuity, kind of in continuity, a little bit of adventure. And it's just heartwarming at the end. And that's what this thing was. And I hate that it's Guardians. I hate that I had to watch the Guardians thing.
I would.
But I will fight to the death for MCU to keep doing shit like this, like these little off holiday things that are kind of in continuity, but just short and fun. It feels like comics. Like this is a comic I would have gotten. Oh, they got a Christmas special. I'm not reading this series, but I'll check it out.
You have to take this for what it is. Just goofy, stupid nonsense.
Yeah, that's all Guardians. That's all Guardians.
Oh, how
You
dare
try.
you.
MCU Guardians, Larry. MCU Guardians.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's what I meant.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but as far like this was better than any of the Guardians movies.
I don't know, man.
Like the fact
I don't
that you
know.
don't know, it might.
I feel like I enjoyed this probably better than I did Guardians 2, but I definitely didn't like it as much as the first Guardians movie. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not a huge fan of that movie, but at least I came away like entertained, and I'm just like like I'm disappointed because it's not as comic book influenced as I would have liked, but it was still a fun time. I don't know if I feel that way about this. Like this, and don't get me wrong, like I'll give it props for what it is in the sense that it was 100% all in on that whole Christmas special kind of vibe thing. And that's what they created. And I think that in that way it worked. But, I'm not a big fan of those either. So,
Yeah, I love those.
When did Mantis get so mean?
When she started hanging out with
Mantis?
Drax?
Why is she mean?
She's angry and yelling at, like, I've never seen, at least I don't remember in the last movie her being so angry. Like she's always, kind of like a little shy, a little timid. And this one, like she's yelling at everybody. She's
kind of like an empath too, so she's like hanging out with Drax. So she's kind of feeding off of that too.
Right, but she's not touching them. Doesn't she have to touch people?
But look, this MCU Mantis, like she don't need to touch nobody.
And that's one of the issues is it bugs me when they screw up continuity, when they just throw it out the window. Like Drax wearing a shirt, the whole freaking thing. After we had a whole fucking movie about why he hates wearing shirts, and now he's like wearing a turtleneck at one point. And I know it's to save money on the makeup. Like they didn't want to spend all that time putting all the makeup on him, but yeah,
that was terrible.
How does Quill not know? How does nobody know that Mantis wasn't one of Ego's kids? Like, did you guys not know that?
I mean, she's not supposed to be.
Why?
In the comics, she's not, but in the movies, I mean, they show her dad. Their dad, Ego, shows himself practically in a sex scene with Mantis's mom. Like
she does.
When he's showing them that he's gone around,
Oh, you mean
one of them is Mantis's species, and the implication is Mantis is one of his daughters because he was having his children brought to him.
You see, when you saw that, Oz, I was more vomiting because Ego collects little Chinese porcelain dolls, like that. That's what that was, right? The little dioramas that he had.
Yeah, but I think he was making them. I don't think he could.
Yeah, I know.
It worse because he was creating them.
I was highly disgusted that Ego was a person that looked like Kurt Russell and an Eternal. I mean, Celestial. So I didn't worry, but who he fucked was the last thing on my mind.
Oh, that's always the first thing on my mind.
Because you don't
who anybody fucks. Like that's all I think about. Because he's a planet. Like he was Squisher.
Yeah, it's just,
Whatever. That fell flat.
again, this was better than the movies.
Look,
I don't have a sad
all,
trombone.
I like
all,
that.
all of
Oh, I
Hmm?
do have a sad trombone. I'm not gonna play it. It's too late. The moment's passed.
I could play something for that. Where is it?
No, I mean it felt appropriate that sad.
Fuck you!
Yeah, that feels appropriate too.
That's mine.
I don't know, man. I just like I was able to get through it because I actually watched it on my birthday while I was drinking a lot of whiskey, and that like there was a point where I actually laughed out loud. I can't remember what that was right now.
There's a lot of those for me. I just
Oh,
love
okay.
Mantis and Drax teamed
Yeah.
up together. I love it. And we've seen a little bit of that in the movies too.
Mhm.
And here you just get to see it without Chris Pratt at all.
I mean, those two
That's
are
true.
great in the movie. Like when it's just them two talking, it's funny. It's great. And so sometimes funny and then heartwarming in certain scenes. In this, I didn't like it at all. I mean, I agree
She
with
didn't come
Mo that
across angry to me.
look, she's like when she finds out Kevin Bacon's an actor.
Yeah.
Like she's all yelling at him. And
Yeah,
then she yells at Drax a couple of times because he won't let go of the stupid thing that he's
Yeah.
holding.
Yeah.
And then she scolds him because he loses it. And
Right.
she still has her candy cane. Like she has her moments.
You're forgetting they also had a whole string of adventures with Thor. There's a lot of contention and fighting and rivalry there too. Like she's picking up on, she's learning how to be like one of these people, and this is what you get right now around Christmas time. Yeah,
I guess. I just didn't like them in LA. I didn't need them to add GoBots to the MCU.
What is that about?
I don't know. I thought Hasbro has them in Paramount, but at first I thought it was like a Space Knight thing, like a connection with the Space Knights. But Marvel don't even have the Space Knights anymore.
And he actually calls them a GoBot. And
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Like GoBot kill his parents. That's got to be some Easter egg, something that we're not big enough fans of either GoBots or.
What people were saying is because Peter Quill would know about GoBots because he was poor and couldn't afford Transformers in the 80s. So he would have, like, if this robot thing kills Drax's cousin, he's like, oh, that stupid GoBot killed your cousin, and Drax just calls him a GoBot at that point.
But GoBots,
well, GoBots. I think I forget if it's
Marvel. Or I guess Ronin in the first movie.
Yeah, I forget if it's Marvel or Disney. I think they actually own the rights to Transformers or GoBots, but not like the toy making rights, so they don't really use them. There's some like weird rights issue going on there that let them say GoBots, but I didn't get that.
Not even that important, really, right? Not as important as Kevin Bacon being in it.
For Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
But yeah,
I don't like that Kevin Bacon like hangs around his house fully clothed. Like, if I was Kevin Bacon, like I would just be in like maybe some boxer briefs, and that's it.
It's
for the Christmas special.
Yeah, like it's my house. Like the family's out in New York and they're coming. They're not gonna be there for a while. I'm just gonna just lounge around with no clothes.
I'm sure like Kevin Bacon seems like a pretty nice guy. If you want to see him naked, I think if you just ask, it might happen.
It's not that I want to see him naked. I feel that he does. I feel bad that Kevin Bacon plays himself not being comfortable enough at home to be without clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's successful. Like he shouldn't have to wear a leather jacket while he sits on the couch.
Do you feel like that was like a fair representation of what Kevin Bacon's actual house is like?
I think so. I think it was actually his actual house.
You think so? Wow, that'd be interesting. I was curious.
I would love it for it to be his actual house, but it probably isn't. But
yeah, it's a nice house.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it and I'm like, I wonder if that. Like, I literally had that thought. I'm like, I wonder if that's what his actual house like looks like. Is it similar to that, or is it like a bigger house? And it's not, there was nothing wrong with it. It was a great sized house as far as I was concerned. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon's been making a lot of money for a long time, so
yeah.
And it's so funny because oh, go ahead.
Now we have was it Sebastian? Was it the dude from Hellfire Club in the MCU now? Because
Sebastian Shaw.
So yeah, Shaw.
That's actually what I was just about to say. I watched it with Raymond and my other buddy Randy, and it came up that like he was in X-Men First Class, and Randy's like, I saw X-Men First Class. Well, who's Kevin Bacon in X-Men First Class? and I was and Raymond was like, because Raymond's always the quick one. He's like, he was the main villain. and Randy's like, what? And I'm like, dude, it does not surprise me that you would not remember Kevin Bacon in that movie. Like, he's probably the worst part of that movie, which is crazy because
Go ahead, Larry. Finish up.
No, I was saying, because it's like, there's other things in it that happen that are not great, but Kevin Bacon, despite his continued appearance throughout the film, yeah, he's the low point.
And that's the thing, like getting him to play, like I would love to see him play an X-Men villain, like him as like Sinister or something like that, like would be great.
Or Gyrick, Henry Peter Gyrick would be cool for him too.
He's got enough presence that he doesn't have to be. But Sebastian Shaw's like a big guy, like he's a professional wrestler that cosplays Jack the Ripper or something. You know what I mean? So it's and recently watching the Dark Phoenix saga on Disney Plus, the cartoon, and seeing the Hellfire Club with Madeline Pryor, and it's like, man, that was a better Sebastian Shaw than the First Class. It's a shame, and it's what it reminds me of. Like, it actually took me back to when I would want to watch all these adaptations and want to be angry, because they made it easy,
right?
And now it's like, now I feel like I want to enjoy them even if I don't like them,
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, like that type of feeling and going in to watch with this mentality, this one wasn't one of the easier ones to do. I really enjoyed it. I love Christmas, and I love I love Christmas specials, and this one was like, man, I get a Marvel Christmas special. Like as a little dude that read comics, I never thought I'd have a Marvel live action Christmas special. You know what I mean?
It's true.
And it's like, if they do one of these every year, like I want Easter, I want Christmas, I want Labor Day, I want Arbor Day,
Yeah. I mean, realistically, we got like Werewolf by Night kind of was like the Halloween special. And this is the Christmas special. So, who knows? Maybe we'll get like something like this every holiday, which, I mean, I'm not opposed to the concept of, special presentation things peppered in throughout. Like, I like that idea, honestly. So,
heck is what y'all do to Jay? And
what did Jay do to Jay?
Well, I can answer that.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain I can answer that freely without having to worry about speaking for Jay. But he's playing like 5 MMOs right now, and so he doesn't have a lot of time.
Word, like real life is the game.
Yeah, like
MMOs are Jay's real life now.
When we hung out on Monday, we established that him being on the show is actually him trying to get like the useless labor achievement for one. That's why he leaves right at 9.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, heck, like Warhammer did drop, so understandable. Yeah, I did get to watch a little bit.
A new Warhammer game came out?
Yeah, on Thanksgiving. I didn't play, but I watched a good chunk of it.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. We should start talking about Wednesday. Y'all good for that?
Next
Today?
week.
Y'all know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about.
No one told me we were
Netflix's
watching that.
Wednesday. Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, I did not know we were doing that.
It was in the group text.
I remember, you know what? I might have thought you guys were talking about, hey, what are we doing Wednesday?
Andor.
And yeah, it was
Hilarious.
Andor. So like, okay, Andor, yeah, watch
Wednesday on Wednesday and or what?
Andor, what? Right, exactly. Wait,
so that's what I was like. Well, yeah, we only got that one thing, so I'll watch the Christmas special, and then they'll watch it, and we'll talk about that too.
wait. So, have you seen any of Wednesday or no?
I saw the trailer.
Oh, wait. So, should we not talk about Wednesday
I
then?
know Fester shows up.
Let's talk about it. I mean, even briefly, maybe not even rate it. Just talk about it.
Are they all out? Is the
Also,
No, it's more about gel coat.
When the fourth round will...
Don't you call it?
does it look good already?
Jumbo Scampi for limited.
I know I say it every time, but I love that intro.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. To answer your question, they're all out on Netflix, 1 through 9, and I only got
full hour.
They're like 45 minutes or so. And yeah, it's basically so yeah, it's Tim Burton's Wednesday series, and I think he directed like the first four episodes, but it's created by some dude and Miles Millar. I forget who the other dude is, but Miles Millar, of course,
Miles Millar?
He's the guy that created Smallville, and he wrote the first,
right.
and he wrote the first Spider-Man movie. So
Tobey Maguire?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's on Netflix. It premiered almost a week ago. Like, it was crazy how fast people went through it, because by like Tuesday, it came out like on a Friday. By Tuesday, there was already spoilers all over the place, all articles and shit. And but yeah, basically follows Wednesday as a teenager and getting kicked out of normal people's school and going to the school for peculiar children. And well, the reason I call it that is because I do feel that this series is Tim Burton's like penance for that nobody watching that movie that he created, the School for Peculiar Children, which
He's
nobody
like,
watched.
If you loved this, you would have loved my other movie.
Right. And that's what it is, because even the whole thing with the sirens, with the sea people, like there's a big character here, and that's a whole thing there. I remember in that movie, well, the reason that movie nobody watched was because it was before cancel culture was a thing. So they just didn't watch his movie because they were mad that he made all the black people villains. And so that's why people didn't watch it. So now I felt like he's like, oh, I'll do Wednesday, and then I'll add that that I really like. Like, he wanted it to be a franchise, and now he's getting to achieve that through Wednesday.
Wait, so he made all the black people villains in that other movie?
Yeah. So, but it wasn't like on purpose. Like, it's just happened. Like, that's how he felt to cast it, which is
that's how he felt to cast it.
It could
black
be
people
real
are evil.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe it was an aesthetic thing. I don't know. I didn't watch it because
dark is evil. I got it. I've been there.
I actually have a phobia of black people. So
yeah, you're probably not the first. It's like, I think that's called Karenophobia.
It's called middle class. I think they're high class phobia.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that was one of the things. Like, there was a big thing. Like, people started writing articles about it, and they trashed it before it even came out. And that's where Hex calling it Xavier School for Peculiar Children, and that's kind of the name of the movie. I forget the name. I guess the lady is like the hero, but she's like getting these kids in the school, and she looks just like the Gwendolyn Christie character. The school looks the same, and it's Tim Burton aesthetic, so it all looks the same as this. And I just really feel like this is the way that he can continue that, and then use Wednesday as a draw for it. And then then he still made the adversaries black, but they're different. Like you had an Amish black guy in here, and it's like, oh look how diverse we are. Like we're having a black guy play an Amish, yeah, but he's still the villain, yeah. And then the other girl with the fencing.
Which guy is the Amish black?
In the whole karate fight in the coffee place. Did you watch it or not?
I did watch it.
Clearly, you didn't.
The Amish black guy. The karate fight in the coffee place. Okay, I got you now. So okay, he's not Amish. He works at a pilgrim place.
Whatever.
That's not the same thing. Like a pilgrim and Amish are just different.
Again, it's
aesthetics.
I'm not seeking facts. I'm funny, Larry. I can't with you like that. Like this is my humorous review of it.
I feel like Black Pilgrim is funny enough. Look, I spent half the show I'm like, why would a black guy open up a pilgrim place? Like I was like, he made a pilgrim theme park? That doesn't make any sense. Like what? Why would he do this? But then it makes a little bit more sense down the line in the show.
But
I was stunned.
Yeah. So the show does what it does, and Emily loved it. I hated it. My brother loved it, and then I think my sister watched it and she loved it. A couple of my clients loved it, and then I loved it too. I both
hated it, and then you loved it, and then you hated it again.
I'm actually having a weird thing because I do both. Like I love Wednesday here. I love continuation, like almost a sequel to Addams Family stuff. And I love the casting. I love the aesthetic. I love everything. I just don't like the execution of this. But in and of itself, it's still good. If it didn't have Wednesday and it was just a school of peculiar children, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't need to know about this pseudo werewolf that doesn't transform. I don't want to see that. I don't need to see this mermaid chick like that. Like I don't need this school of kids to have a good Wednesday story. Being an outsider, the whole family's an outsider. The comic's written in the way of, again, read fucking. My brother was like, I love Luis Guzman, but I hate him. I'm like, man, fuck you. I told my brother, he's my brother. And Larry, we had this conversation too. I told my brother, and I told you the same thing.
Fuck you!
Read some fucking comics. And I showed you the art in the comics. Like the truest to the comics is Luis Guzman. Then you have the cartoon movies, and they use the original design. That's cool. I didn't watch those. But Luis Guzman acts enough like John Astin and looks like the comic, and that's what you get in the Addams Family comic. So in the Addams Family comic and the show, it's like it's about people that are weird, but they're proud of being weird, or they're not. They don't see themselves as weird, and they're just part of society. Even though society looks at them a certain way, they're still doing their thing, and they're still making money, and they're still succeeding. That's enough. And as far as like if you want to do a story about Wednesday rebelling against her mother, look, turn her into like if this series was her turning into Marilyn from the Munsters and being the normal one of the family and her hating and everything and then trying to be in a regular school, it would make a lot more sense for me as the next logical step, because this family, everything that Like, I don't even like how they want, like, she's mad that they want her to get married and shit. And it's like, the Addams family's not even about that. Like, they're not trying to push the ideals.
They don't try to force her to get married in this, though, right?
Well, that's what
they're
she
just
feels. She feels that they want.
But that's not what they're doing. They just want her to make friends.
Right. But that's the thing. It's not, the Addams family don't do that. It's like people either want to be friendly with you or not. And then the series actually does that, because even the dude that befriends Wednesday is like, hey, look, you make a deal. Like, I'm gonna drive you or not, like, and that's kind of like that touches on. So I'm like, okay, all right, we're getting that. So they do know what I'm thinking as an Addams Family fan, and I'm of course Tim Burton's an Addams Family fan, so it's like, okay, he gets it, but he's like making it. It's Wednesday is like the Addams Family for normies, and that's
the
where I'm
Wednesday
like,
TV show,
right? So,
Yeah,
and that's
okay.
where I'm like, yeah, okay, you got to make it for these people, and it's like that kind of goes against to what Addams Family is to me,
I hear what you're saying, where you're like, this is like a more accessible Addams Family,
right?
And I could see that, because even though they do put it in that particular, like, in this school with all these like monsters, basically, it's like at the end of the day, it's still the high school dynamic.
Yeah, they didn't need to change.
It's not like it's like, oh, they like these people act different. Like, no, they act the same. So, that's interesting. I didn't think of it like that, but I can see where you're coming from.
Where's Pugsley in all this? Is he even
Pugsley is in the show.
Yeah.
The school is like a boarding school, so Pugsley isn't there.
The family's not there.
But I mean, is Pugsley like at his own school? Is he? I thought he was older. Is he in college?
Pugsley's going to regular school still, because he didn't try to kill anybody.
And that's what happened. That's where the show starts. Is she defends her brother by throwing piranhas in the swim team's pool, and they bite some guy's cock off, and then she gets expelled,
which is pretty awesome.
Yeah,
just like the whole that whole scene. And here's the thing, and I feel bad because I don't know the name of the young lady who plays Wednesday. If one of you all could come up with her name while I'm talking, I would appreciate that.
Let me look it up.
Say again?
It's something Ortega. I forget her first name.
Yeah, dude. Like,
her name is actually
Jenna Ortega.
Great.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, hold on. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Kukulkan Feather Serpent.
Damn it!
Listen, she is phenomenal as Wednesday,
and
I feel like the show works because of her. Like, she just has. It's so crazy because she has a flat affect through almost the entire show, and somehow remains charismatic. I don't know how she does it. I don't get it. I wish I knew how to do it. I'm out here jealous. I'm like, damn. Like, I know how to be high energy charismatic. How you be low key charismatic? Can I be low key charismatic? I want to.
Honestly,
that's how
Wednesday.
When I first saw it,
I need to take lessons from Mo. Low key charisma.
When I first saw the trailers, I thought it was Aubrey Plaza, because she's got that same thing going. We're like,
yeah.
Right, but here's the thing, Aubrey Plaza, and I agree with you, but
it's too old to play the character. I got you.
No, I wasn't going to say that at all. I was going to say that Aubrey Plaza is low energy charismatic, and I feel like it's a little different, because like you can tell like she's having a good time.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean, and that's
got that bitch face going on too.
I mean, if you want to call it that,
but Wednesday doesn't have like a bitch face.
No,
It's
Well,
deadpan.
that's what I'm saying. Just
You're right. It's
trailers or promo images because I haven't seen the show, so I haven't.
It's deadpan charisma, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing until I watched this show, and I was and it's like how you know it's like really like a thing is because there's a point in the show where the deadpan breaks a little bit, and you could see the difference. Where it's like, oh, schmack, that chick showed emotion. But she's not doing it beforehand, and it's awesome. And just like like, there's something that's very satisfying about watching the character because the character truly doesn't care what other people think of her, and like that's a thing that it, or at least the actress is able to convey that the character doesn't care what other people think of her. And that's something that in the world we live in, there are people that try to act like that. And there's some people that actually potentially pull it off, but at the same time, it's like, but she is like nailing, like, no, I don't listen. You think you're important. You think what you think of me matters. It does not. And that's the best part of the show where I'm like, wow, like that's great.
That's where like I really started liking it. Coming around for it. Real quick in chat, Heck said you should have throw in
Namor
there too. And then Heck says Tiger Claw says, Heck, did you mean Namor? And Heck says, I said what I said.
I said what I said. There it is. You got that Wednesday energy.
You gotta say it in Spanish. And which Heck says I did. That's kind of Heck channeling Wednesday right there. Like I did.
Right. Right. I did.
And yeah, he's correct. It's all about inflection because you really gotta.
They call him Kukul Khan.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh through it. I didn't mean to. It's so good.
You did what you did.
Subculture girl in chat is a little bit on a delay. He was dressed like a pilgrim.
Wait, she's there.
Yeah, but she's listening on to the stream.
She's on that good stream.
Oh,
she's
thank
on
you.
Stream that like has you.
Thank you, I agree. He was definitely dressed as a pilgrim. I was like, there were Amish. I was like, Amish kung fu fight. I'm like, damn, what show was I watching? Yeah. Look, you had me, Mo, because I know how good your memory is. I was like, what is this fool talking?
And I was high as fuck. Like, yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, you know, you got to get. I mean, Larry, you know it's already. You know this already. But when you talk to me, you got to talk. You got to listen in funny. I speak in language that's funny. You know.
I'm usually good at that, but I failed you once again, Mo. I apologize.
You're not high enough.
Yeah.
Right,
but yeah, and that's when she tells the mermaid chick, "Oh, I don't think I'm better than everyone. I just know I'm better than you." Like, right. And that's the thing is, I grew up weird, right? Like I was the only Latino guy on my block, or Latinx, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know, in a block full of first generation immigrants that didn't have a stable home. It was a broken home, and Hispanics looked down on that. I was the monster. I was the Adams, and it's like this show kind of didn't do that for me at first, and then but like that the way that my mom raised me, the little she could, she instilled that on me, that like how she said like, oh, how'd you learn how to do that? Oh, my uncle taught me, you know, like that's
right
what I started to do for my niece. So a lot of things in this, I'm like, I could still identify. I didn't think I was like, what the fuck? Am I going to watch Wednesday? I can't identify with Wednesday. And then I find these things like that. Like my mom literally says, like, you don't have to, when you fight with somebody, you don't have to win. They just have to lose, you know, because I was smarter than everybody. you know. So it's like you just make them lose, you know, and that's kind of that attitude too. It's like I don't think I'm better than everyone. I just know I'm better than you, and that's like that encapsulate. That's it. Look, I may not see myself in Wednesday, but that's my fucking mom. You know, the baddest bitch on the planet, and she
Yeah.
definitely. I was like, man, and then then I identified with her at the coffee shop when she orders a quad on ice. Like that's that's my drink. That's what I drink. And then she fixed the espresso machine, which I can do as well. And so I'm like,
There it
yeah,
is.
Tarklaw has a question.
Mozart Wednesday.
yeah.
Tarklaw has a question about the show that I was kind of thinking too. I just hadn't gotten to it.
It says, "How would you describe the tone of Wednesday? Could it be compared to the two Addams Family movies tone-wise? Is it comedic or has a serious tone?" That's a fair question. I know that it's described like, as far as like Netflix is concerned, as a horror comedy.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that description, Moses? And what would you say the tone of Wednesday is in comparison to the Addams Family movies?
I would compare it like the Addams Family are more so the Addams Family is sitcom, right? The comic was strippy, like Garfieldy, you know?
Right.
So
Now you said when
definitely
you say the Addams Family sitcom, you're talking about the TV show, the original TV show.
right? And then the
Right.
movies try to do what movies do when you have like something that's a shorter form of comedy, and they try to add a long narrative to it, like the Coneheads or the Blues Brothers, and that's the formula that the movie went for. So, which is long form sitcom, uh, and they just give you the little setup and punchline while following the main conflict and narrative of the movie. The show itself doesn't follow any of that. It follows more like the Riverdale or almost a procedural type of mystery. It has its deadpan humor, and then it has its horror comedy aesthetic. But the horror comedy itself, like there's the horror in it is really just aesthetic. It's not tone. It's not like if you're someone that's averse to horror, you're not gonna like it. They just don't have a tag, or the algorithm doesn't have a thing to react to goth, So they just call it horror.
When you say you're adverse to horror, you mean like you're not saying like if you dislike horror, you're gonna dislike the show. You're not saying that.
No,
Right?
that's what I'm saying. Like, if calling it a horror comedy, if you dislike horror and you watch this, you're gonna enjoy this because that horror comedy is a wrong tag. Like, it's not horror comedy,
No.
If you watch like Stan versus Evil, Neon Joe, was the evil Ash versus the Evil Dead or whatever,
Right?
Like the TV show.
That's
like,
horror comedy.
Yeah, and this
and it's
this
not
is
that.
not, yeah.
No.
This
is like it's like Supernatural.
Almost, yeah. I mean, the
not even as hardcore Supernatural.
Yeah, it's definitely like it has its overall mystery, and then it has its little hurdles, red herrings, and stuff that is part of the story that is advancing. I guess taking Wednesday from one point to another in her life. I didn't finish it, so I only got to like episode 7, but I do want to finish it, so I'll do that probably after the show. So yeah, the tone is definitely like it's deadpan humor more than anything, like almost like a Monty Python skit, or it just has an actual story that goes over several episodes. Yeah.
For the majority of the show, the humor is provided by Wednesday's reactions to things, and so that's why it's deadpan, because she's not telling jokes. She's just reacting in a way that is not the way you would think of how people react in a particular situation.
And also
she has a flat affect.
And because of that, it's not written in a style where you would have a setup and a punchline.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I know that there was plenty of times when I personally laughed out loud just because I was like, oh man, that's crazy that she's in this situation, and the way that people would normally react is ABC, and she's totally like XYZ, you know? And so,
Babe, what did you think of Wednesday? You want to say it on the mic or you want to put it in chat? She says she wants to finish watching it first.
nah, that's fair. That's fair.
Say it again. So far, she likes it, and she actually enjoyed it a lot more than I did at first. So
Right.
I watched it with her, but I knew like I wanted to like it. I just there's certain. It's like that Monsters movie too. Like it just doesn't hit what I like about Monsters 100%, but it
Mm-hmm.
does fit into it into what it is. It just it's a little different.
How do you feel about the Addams Family movies?
I like those. I think they're
And
really
you
well
feel
crafted, and the aesthetic was always good. So and it feels like the show expanded through a conflicted narrative.
got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, cool.
As far as
Yeah,
like the
that's yeah.
comics go, like even the shows, like that's where the show shined for me. Like adapted from a comic strip was that it was like you get like 30 of these comic strips and they're like part of the dialogue of the show, and then the show has its small narrative, so it's always set up punchline, set up punchline, set up punchline, commercial, set up punchline, set up punchline, and then they resolve the issue, so it's like watching a bunch of basically connecting all the comic strips a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's
I can
easier
say
to
that.
but go.
No, you go. You finish. I'm sorry.
No, it's easier to like do that on like a sitcom level, especially when you're one of the early sitcoms,
Right.
to just kind of set that up like that. If you did that now, I mean, granted, I'd probably say it's derivative and it's done, and and I love it too. Like I would have loved to see something
Yeah.
like if
I will say. You said you would love it too?
like if they did a Flintstones movie and it's like about Pebbles and Bam Bam like trying to go to college even though they're like arranged marriagey and trying to figure out their lives, like I'd hate it. Yeah.
Got it.
That's probably what it would be if Tim Burton made it nowadays.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I will say that I feel as though
Be quiet.
that's hilarious act.
Latinx
Men.
There's a
Latinx
funny
men.
video I'll show you guys. I'll put it in our Discord. It's a comedian Frankie Quinones breaking down Latinx, and it's similar to how I do it, but that's because his comedy and mine are a little similar too.
Right. I was gonna say that I feel like focusing on Wednesday and Addams Family is a little different than focusing on the kids in Flintstones, just because I feel like I'm not going to say Wednesday is a more central character because I don't feel like she necessarily is in regards to the Addams Family dynamic. I just feel like Wednesday every character in Addams Family is developed enough that you could see like, okay, they are doing their own thing at some point. Yeah. And so I guess that makes it less of a stretch that ironically enough, Pugsley is probably the only part of Addams Family where I'm like, well, what is that going to be about? And I would wonder. And it's not even to say that it couldn't happen. It's just more like, I don't know, because I feel like Pugsley is probably the least developed aspect of Addams Family, but everybody else from a personality perspective has a very clear kind of personality that you're like, okay, like I'm sure that they do things like there's things that Uncle Fester and Gomez and friggin' Thing and when like they're doing stuff that's off panel You know what I'm saying? That we just don't know about, or that's off screen, whether you're talking about a
Mhm.
TV show or a movie. And like even Lurch, like I'm sure like Lurch, when Lurch isn't driving, Lurch does something.
Nah, he just stands there waiting for the.
Yeah, he does. That's why his name is Lurch, because he's just there.
He waits
Lurch
for the
does something.
They didn't want to call him Bump on the Log, like, so they just made up Lurch. Like,
Secret Life of Lurch.
look,
I'm ready for that movie.
I'm gonna make fuck Tim Burton's Wednesday, Moses Magnum's Lurch. It's gonna be just
There it is.
It's gonna be a rip off of Pennyworth.
Right. Lurch is a secret agent I would watch. And believe, I'm like, damn, this fool is dynamic when he's not with the Addams family. Like Addams family is how that's his downtime.
Like, and his hobby is gonna be a movie rating podcast. Like, nobody asked my opinion, so I gotta put it on the internet. They never asked Lurch, like, "Hey Lurch, what'd you think of this?" Like, he watches it with him because he's just right there.
Right.
Yeah. I hate it when so here they tried to do a little bit of the callbacks to the show, but it wasn't like Lurch is in it, but Lurch doesn't say you rang. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He ring the bell and he shows up?
No, he's driving in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why would he say you rang? Like, he's not.
No, I get it. But why would the person opening the door say you rang? Like that, if she's not Lurch.
So somebody says you rang, but it's not Lurch.
Yeah, no, they don't say you rang. They say you rang.
Gotcha.
It's not Lurch.
Gotcha. No, I hear that.
Right.
I hear that.
So they did that one, and then I forgot what else they did, and it's like super obscure. So only like, I think I was the only one that got it, and I can't even remember it off the top of my head right now. But there was definitely one of these things where it's like, I'm like, oh man, that's like from the show,
I mean, they did the snap, of course.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, the snap. Yeah. But overall, like I said, I hated it, but I loved it as well. And it sounds weird, but the Addams Family and Wednesday is weird. Yeah,
it is weird.
I mean, I love Morticia's Garden. I love I didn't see too much of that, and then the stuff they try to put like that here, it's Tim Burton's. It's not like the show. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little too different for me to like really 100% love it, so I had to split my consciousness into two, so I can enjoy it and hate it at the same time.
There it is. I personally, I really liked it. Like, I enjoyed it thoroughly, and don't get me wrong, I can't by any means be like, oh, I'm a huge Addams Family fan.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not. Like, I like it. Like, I liked, and when I say that, I mean like, I liked the TV show. I liked the movies, and I can't say that I read the comic strip because I didn't, but it felt like this was or I will say this was a iteration of Addams Family that I was like, I really enjoyed this, and I would watch another season of it because I finished this season and liked it a lot.
Luis Guzman as the story they did with Luis Guzman as Gomez, I wasn't 100% like fan of, but they only did that for like 2 episodes with the whole killing thing and backstory.
Mm-hmm.
But the Morticia, Catherine Zeta-Jones and Morticia, like
she's phenomenal.
I don't care if she does give you throat cancer from eating her pussy. Like, this is perfect.
Wow.
Why
would that happen?
That's what happened to Hank Pym.
Original. Well,
yeah, Hank Pym, MCU Hank Pym.
Yeah,
he blamed her for this throat cancer.
Did he really?
I think really.
Yeah. And they're still married
because it's worth it.
Why would he blame her?
That shit is magical.
But yeah, that's Morticia. Like you eat her out, and her name's Morticia. Like it's worth the throat cancer. It's perfect. Perfect. Pugsley's perfect too.
Yeah,
The look is just great. I love when he's
yeah.
like, no, my dad, dad gave me the perfect bait. He's out fishing. He just throws a grenade in the river. Like, I love, and that's classic. That's from the show, you know. So it's like you're
That's
gonna
good
have
stuff.
Pugsley, you're gonna have a show moment. It's perfect.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, no, they did good stuff with it. Yeah, the little like horror mystery, supernatural mystery thing. I mean, I don't know what I would do instead, but it's just like that makes me like a generic CW show to me, you know. And but I guess it's done better. I don't know. I haven't watched generic CW shows in a couple of years.
Very generic.
So, yeah. You want to rate it, Larry? Larry, what you think of Uncle Fester?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
I
haven't
like
gotten there
the.
yet, but I got spoiled today.
Oh no, I personally enjoyed it. I know there are people that are not fans for whatever reason, but
Yeah.
no, I liked it, and I thought it was an interesting take
Yeah.
and something that felt like could be the case. So I was just like, okay, cool. Like that's is a little different, but not a lot.
My brother didn't like it because, and you know my brother Doug. You know he's
Yeah,
different than my brother Oscar and me. Yeah,
right.
so he said he liked original Fester because he was essentially like Curly from Three Stooges. Like
Mm-hmm,
he was more like that, and
mm-hmm.
then this guy wasn't, or not enough. I don't know. I haven't seen that far yet
See,
myself, but
mm-hmm.
he said the superpower stuff was like he's like he used to turn on the light bulb with his mouth,
Yeah.
and so but here he shoots electricity. He said, and I'm like, okay, that's
I
good. I
wouldn't
mean,
say that he shoots, but he generates electricity.
yeah, but to me, like if you watch enough of the show and read some of the comics, like technically Fester's like the superpower being. Like this
Yeah,
motherfucker has like
100%.
he's got like super strength,
Mm-hmm.
durability. Like he's like the Hulk,
Dude.
but without the anger. And so I don't
Mm-hmm.
mind. I don't mind extra. Like it's still an electrical power, which is like he just used it to make the kids laugh with the light bulb, but that's him
Mm-hmm.
being an uncle. Yeah. So I don't mind if he's helping out and he shoots electricity like Palpatine. I don't mind.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I don't feel like he does. He doesn't shoot electricity like Palpatine, in my opinion. Like he does. Like it. The way that the character he does his thing is like he can generate electricity, which is why you would be able to light up a light bulb if you put it in your mouth.
Right.
So it's just like okay, so it's just like almost like the natural extension of that to a degree. Then also too, I felt like he acted like Curly enough. Like he's not super silly like he was in the like TV show,
Yeah.
but he's still silly. And it's friggin' Armiston. Like,
Yeah,
this
he's
was not
great.
playing that straight.
And
So
like,
it's like
Armison's another dude, like judging by his humor, like I know he probably was like locked in his room watching Addams Family like I was.
right. Absolutely, 100%. And I think he does the character justice personally. Like, don't get me wrong, it's like I said, it is a bit of a different take, but it's not like, you know, he's like, oh, this guy is like uh he's not like some kind of super serious version of the character. I don't feel that at all.
Okay.
So but yeah, I liked it. I thought they represented honestly every character really well. So yeah,
Finishing up, like you finished it already. I
I
haven't.
did.
So I do have questions for you. Like, what do you uh what do you think or hope for second season?
I don't like what I just say like as far as what I think, I I I would I should say I would hope that we get a second season, and it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the same premise or anything like that. Like, I'm not saying, like, I don't necessarily need the show to come back and be what it was in the first season. I just need like the same people to come back and reprise the roles, and whether that be, like, definitely, of course, from the family perspective, but also from the perspective of the students and the, like, the friends that she makes. It's like, it would
So
be cool to revisit some of those people.
she starts the show as the outcast. Is she still the outcast towards the end?
Oh, I don't want to spoil it for you or the
I mean,
audience.
I'm asking you.
I know, I hear you,
The audience.
but I'm respectfully refusing to answer and saying, watch the show, Oz.
That's going to affect season 2, or at least is affecting my
Right, but you need to go on that journey, Oz.
She could go to college.
The fact that you even care, I feel, speaks kindly towards what we've said thus far.
Our review of it.
Nah, it like
nah. He's like, nah. Your review wasn't that good.
She
You're right.
starts the show in public school or something. Look, the Adams Gomez got so much money, like he could send her to a private school and they'll never kick her out. I don't care what she kills.
I think one of those episodes was him just trying to find a proper homeschool teacher because he's too busy making love to Morticia to actually have Morticia teach her.
I mean, look, yeah, he's got the money. I agree with Mo that I think it would have been more interesting. I haven't seen the show, so I don't know. I'm probably like just talking to my ass.
Yeah, just like
it sounds like it would have been a more interesting show if it's her in a regular school, not a school of other outcasts. Even though you still get that same dynamic,
right?
But at the same time, like we've seen that in the movies too. Like that was the whole point of her at summer camp, right? She was the outcast in a group full of normal kids. But I think
they rehashed that too. They rehashed her. Was it the canoe race from the movie?
And I like that aspect of that movie. Was there was a moment where she tried, and it's like, nah, this ain't gonna work. Like, you gotta be who you gotta be. I think that would have been a great like arc for the character. Whatever, I could be wrong. Like, it could still be amazing. I haven't watched it. I plan to, but
yeah, you should watch it, and I would love to hear your thoughts after you watch it.
I'm expecting her to, by the end of the series, to be, I'm not gonna say the popular kid, but like more accepted in the group. I mean, it's a school of outcasts, so more accepted to where a season 2. This is why I asked the question. The season 2 would be someone new comes in, and now Wednesday is on the other side, but doesn't realize it. Like, she starts treating this kid like she would treat the popular kids before, but she doesn't realize that now she's seen as the popular girl, or the one that everybody looks up to, and doesn't realize that she's treating this new kid the way people saw her, because like you said, she doesn't care what people think about her.
I would tell you, Oz, don't even think about none of that. Just watch this first. Enjoy this. Like I said, I had to split my consciousness in two to be able to hate it and love it at the same time. And I think I think you're a better person than I am, so you could just enjoy it for what it is.
And I agree with you.
I can't. I can't enjoy it for what it is. Like, there's a physical, emotional, mental damage done to me from the way I grew up that doesn't let me enjoy this 100%. So I literally have to disassociate from myself to love it.
But at the same time, what you call damage let you enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy while I was sitting there miserable.
Again, yeah, that's my mom sheltered me from Christmas. It was the worst thing ever. It's a pagan holiday. It ain't Jesus. And to rebel, I love Christmas because it's about capitalism. It's about it's about capitalism and greed with the facade of doing good to your fellow man. And I look, the facade is I'm all in on the facade.
Yeah, I was forced into Midnight Mass.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, Larry, what would you rate Wednesday?
I liked it a lot. I give it 4.5 out of 5.
Part of my consciousness gives it a 5. And that's without finishing it, and then the other one does a 0. So I'm like one of those weird snap cards that are
A
useless.
0, a 5 and a 0, 3.
Yeah.
So that's a 3.
Yeah. You can't. Oh no, I'm the fourth member. Like my other consciousness is the fourth member in this scenario. So you can't average it out to a 3 because it's not. That's not an accurate representation of what I think of it. Both consciousness together. So so I am the fourth member as well in this.
What I'd like to know is 2 things. What episode is Emily on, and what was she rated up to that episode? Because I know she doesn't want to give a rating on the show as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, whatever point she's in.
So far, babe, what would you give it? I think she fell asleep.
Also, well, yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And also, what episode? I guess you guys are on the same episode.
Yeah, 7th episode. Yeah, we're on the 7th episode.
That's pretty close to the end. Like you should get a good feeling for how.
Look, that 7th episode in itself is its own little mini movie. So you can literally just watch that 7th episode and have a full rating on this. That's why I felt like okay giving it a rating, because I watched what it is before that and that. And that those two, like that 7th episode could have been its own season, and they condensed it to one episode, and it was good. Yeah. Like they were teasing it up until that point, but they could have easily just teased the second season, and they didn't. They just made a parents' weekend episode.
Right. Yeah, man, it's good stuff.
But Emily, I'm sure, gives it like a 5 out of 5. She likes it, like she loves it, and she's a better. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't hold on to the bullshit I hold on to, so she just loves it and enjoys it from the start, instead of me being conflicted and thinking about it while I'm showering to see, or taking a shit or driving in traffic. Like I'm over here thinking like, why do I hate it? But why do I love it? Like, yeah, she doesn't have any of that.
I mean, that's why I asked what she thought.
Yeah. Well, she let you down.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
There it is. All right. Should we
oh wow,
should we talk about Andor?
Or what?
Right. Andor.
Larry, I fucked up, Larry. You had a birthday this week and I didn't do shit. I didn't make the thumbnail. I didn't finish Wednesday, and I didn't watch Andor.
Did you get him drunk?
I mean, he was drunk before I got there, but yeah.
But you kept it going, right?
Yeah.
I was not drunk.
You fulfilled your commitment.
Yes, Mo definitely got me more than a few drinks. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You fulfilled your commitment to the birthday thing.
But I did watch the finale of Andor.
Just the finale?
What?
Yeah, I watched the first episodes when they came out, the first 3.
Why would you do that?
Did you do the my wife's method of watching?
No, I didn't do any
previously on.
I didn't do any of that. I put the last episode on and ate my dinner. And
look, you don't even understand what's happening.
Yeah, there's a whole set of characters I've never seen.
Right, exactly. I was like, you can't do that. Like Andor, like we mentioned, is like Andor.
Yeah.
Like is a show that reinvents itself like every 3 episodes. Like it's 3 episodes.
When you said that, I'm like, I figured I could just pick up on it where it's at.
Well, no, you can't. No, but not in the last episode. It reinvented itself 3 episodes before that.
I mean, I figured if they do that, I figured they'd make the final episode accessible.
No.
I mean, if the people that do anything important, you've already seen. It's
I don't know,
Andor.
man. There was some chick that stabbed a guy, and I don't know who those two people are. And then,
Nope. Yeah.
and then
No, absolutely not.
there's a dude that gets threatened, like
Yeah.
he's gonna get stabbed in the throat, but it's a blunt object. Like, bitch, what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Like I'm just like like
So
Mo
I
doesn't
know
know
the
who.
guy. I know the guy. He's just not wearing the same clothes he was wearing early on.
Right.
Oh, is
And
that
I don't know why he's there.
the proper guy?
Right.
Yeah, and then that chick,
Yeah.
I don't know who she is at all.
She shows up.
Right.
She shows up in the first 3.
No, she doesn't.
I think she does.
Look, even
Not in the
if she
first
does, again,
episode. She doesn't show up in the first
no, like,
episode.
she doesn't do a lot. Like she shows up at a meeting or something.
here's
like
the
that.
thing: there's
She's there.
people that show up like Bix. Bix, I know showed up in the first episode.
But you don't know how she got all messed up like that.
She doesn't look like Bix. Like, when he
no.
said Bix, I'm like,
No,
She didn't look
Yeah,
like
I like-
Bix.
I'm like, he's looking for the droid. Is that was the name of the droid? And it was no. It turns out it's this chick that's like delusional and prisoner, and yeah,
Bix has seen some shit. Well, let's just say
Yeah.
she heard some shit.
She's been on a journey.
Oh,
yeah.
my
So,
God.
I know I did myself a disservice watching this finale, but
Yeah.
look, here's what I can say: that whole procession with the orchestra leading up to that,
Yeah.
amazing. That's like, I
Yeah.
mean, you
Yeah.
if you didn't like the episode, you could call it derivative of like the Godfather. And for me, it was like, that's it. This is why I wanted. This is what I wanted from Disney when they did the Lucasfilms takeover. Like, I want them to give me stories like this, and I don't even know what's going. I mean, I know the droid chick, but all these, like, it's what I hated about The Last Jedi, where they touched upon these things, these ancillary things, aside from the warmongering and building the Death Star takes resources, and it when you watch the original trilogy, it just magically happens, and so that alone for this series, like the little bit I saw in this last episode about that is amazing. So I give it a
like
5.
2 or 3 episodes where you see where the parts for that Death Star are made.
I love that. I love that. Like, that's
you didn't watch it.
But that's the thing. I know I love that because I know I want that, and that's the thing. That's like I'm the guy that bought the Hitchhiker's Guides to the Galaxy, but not Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like Star Wars Galaxy. Like, I know how to say hi in Tusken Raider, and it's like, but it means hi in Tusken Raider.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, when you watch all the episodes, like that last episode is gonna hit completely different.
All right.
Which is awesome. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at you really for watching it, even though you shouldn't have done that. But
I wanted to contribute something to the show, and at the very least, I gave a review of it, and that could be fun.
It's interesting because I had a similar experience recently.
Oh, there goes
where
he got mad,
right? just because, like, you know how it goes, like the movie Gravity, like, is showing on like HBO, right? And I was just like, oh, I haven't seen Gravity, and I was like, oh, it was at the end, so I literally watched like the last maybe 8 minutes of Gravity. And I was like, huh, okay. Then I watched from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that last 8 minutes had a whole different meaning, a whole different, because it's contextualized,
Is it?
And so, yeah.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Gravity, or you didn't like it?
I watched it. I don't know, maybe I didn't see it in the theater, but I thought it was like whatever.
I didn't watch it in the theater either. I'm not saying that it's the best movie.
The movie is a little dated. Like, the movie's dated because it made sense. Like, at the beginning where George Clooney would do anything to just not spend time with a woman his own age.
That's not right.
All right. Yeah.
Look,
But that's what it was.
I,
Now he's married and everything, so it's just not doesn't hit right.
that's hilarious. No, I just, like, I just felt like, oh, okay, like, I get, like, the ending makes, or put in the proper perspective, it's like a whole different thing. And I was like, oh, okay, great, I get it. But, you know, you're going to have a good time watching the rest of Andor. And you're going to watch that last episode again, and it's going to be like, oh, it's going to be a whole different experience. So that's going to be cool. For you. Yeah. Oz, what are your thoughts on Andor?
Same thoughts I had last week. Yeah. It's a good sci-fi show, and I enjoy it. I really don't want to, like, I have my criticisms because of the main character. We did all that last week. I'm not gonna get into that discussion again, but so
just broad stroke it.
It's it's Forrest Gump in space. Like, dude's just running around and stuff. Interesting things are happening around him that affect him, but like he doesn't really do a whole lot. It's about a guy who's going to be a major component for the rebellion. Like he's one of the dudes that helps get the plans for the Death Star that lead into the original trilogy. He's an important person, and Rogue One was a great movie to watch, but like he's just a dude like doing crimes, or he's just a mercenary
doing crimes.
There were other words I was gonna use, but none of them seem fitting. Like, yeah, he's just hired to do a job because he's a criminal, he's a thief. It's what he does. And stuff happens to him along the way, and I'm more interested in the things around him, like the government overreach of the Republic and how that starts to like crack down. And I do like how one of the crimes he's involved with like sets off like even more intense, whatever it's called. The words are slipping my mind, but it makes the Republic crack down a lot more on people, and like just start, when you get to the prison and they find out that their sentences were doubled and they don't know why, because they've been in prison the whole time.
Right.
Things like that, like all that stuff is interesting, and he's just kind of meandering through it, but it's a good sci-fi show. Like I enjoy the episodes. And like you said, it's like every 3 or 4 episodes are like their own little movie. So this is like actually like a trilogy of stuff. And I hesitate to criticize it because this is the type of Star Wars stuff that I like. I like stories in this world that don't have anything to do with the Skywalkers. That it's tangentially related to Death Star, Palpatine, and all that, but not really. They don't ever say Palpatine. They might mention the Emperor every now and then. So I like these. They're just really good sci-fi stories, and so I don't want to criticize it too. Rogue One, same thing. It's a really good sci-fi movie that's in this Star Wars universe, which I want to learn more about. The Mandalorian too. It's a good Western or space Western, whatever you want to call it, in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. Like, I feel like if this was done, at least for me, like I heard your criticisms and I saw that, because literally, like, the finale for Andor is just him walking, and then all this stuff is happening. Yeah, so like, oh, this is what Oz means. But I get it. But it's shaping who he's gonna be by the time we get to Rogue One, and you're seeing the stuff that shaped him instead of just, when you watch like Jason Bourne and Jason Bourne 2, like, you're just seeing him running from the shit that shaped him, not the shit that shaped him. And that's why, like, I'm okay. Like the stuff you don't like about it, I think I will like when I actually watch the series because it's actually I'm actually seeing it. Like if I didn't see it, I would feel like I'm missing something.
To me, he's the same guy now at the beginning of this as he is in Rogue One. Difference is he's just doing it for a different. Like he's not doing it for money anymore. He's doing it for this, but he's still the same person.
But he's not the same person he was in episode 3.
I think he is.
No, I watched episode 3 and I watched this last one, and even like just the conversation he has with the Skarsgård guy, he had the little like a mirror conversation here in this episode than he did in episode 3, where he's like, "I don't know you. Why am I gonna fall?" He's all hesitant, and then here's like you could either kill me or take me in.
Yeah,
and then it's like that on its own. It's like okay,
that's an
he's
art.
got a plan. He's got a plan. Like he's gonna do whatever happens. I know he's not gonna kill him, but I know he's in it. He's in. His mind is different than it was in episode 3.
Nah, because it's two different things. The first time he meets Skarsgård, he's running from the cops, and Skarsgård is a stranger. He has no idea who this guy is.
I get it.
In the last movie, he knows.
Well, but the thing is, he came to kill him, and he still showed up to him. Like over there, he didn't know if he was going to kill him or turn him in or anything, and so he's like, okay, I'm a ragtag. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I know what I need to do, what I want to do, and what they need me to do, or he doesn't even know what they need him to do yet. And then here, it's like, okay, he's learned what he wanted to do, what he needed to do, and what they want him to do, and then he's like, okay, use me how you need to use me.
He knew
like
Skarsgård wasn't going to kill him. He's met the people.
Again, I'm not saying that's the whole point. Like him not knowing that he's not going to kill him is the fucking arc. And I didn't watch the whole series. I just watched the first 3 episodes and the final one, and I feel like I got a full arc of this character. You're telling me this doesn't literally in the whole series? He's just walking around.
At the beginning, the dude is literally like, "Hey, I'm just here to do what they pay me to do. I'm not here to join up with your cause. None of that." And by the time you get to the end, he's 100% like, okay, like I'm trying to do what you do. And he's like, I'm going to take the chance. And you're right. I think he does. He obviously he believes he's not going to get killed. Or thinks he probably isn't, like the chances are less so, but he's still like, he's not sitting here like, oh, I'm just trying to get away and go live my life. He's like, no, I'm down for this cause now. Like, and that's a full arc. He literally was the opposite of that at the beginning of the show, and at the end of the show, he's all in. Like I don't know how that cannot be an arc. Like
he's a wanted criminal. Nobody else is gonna take him in at that point.
No, but it's not. I agree with you. What I'm saying is, it's not like he didn't have options. Like he could have flew away with his people.
He could put on
go live someplace else.
Or just put on one of those weird gas masks that one of these characters have in every Star Wars movie.
He could have disappeared and had nothing to do with the rebellion, but he made a choice to become a rebel, and like to be like I want to be like the dude was like, hey, do you want to like remember the conversation that he had with him was, do you want to just like mess with these guys, or do you want to do something significant that'll actually hurt them? And he's like, hey, listen, if you're gonna pay me, just pay me, and whatever. If it hurts them, great, but just pay me and let me do my thing. And that was like where he was at when he first met the guy. Then when at the end, he's like, I want you to like let me be the tool. Let me be the person that hurts them.
Here's
in
what
a real
I
way.
Understand is I don't understand why you're yelling at me. I say I like the show.
I'm not yelling at you because you dislike the show. I'm yelling at you because you're saying there's no arc, and you're like, that's crazy talk, because it's like they can't make it a more definitive arc. Like Mo sees the arc, and this fool only watched 4 episodes of 12
Right.
or
So
9 or
he didn't see the slow progression. Like he got the beginning and the end. So you could see the bigger differences in a character than someone who had to sit there and watch everything of him just walking around like, oh, I'm just
but
walking.
you should
Oh,
see
now
the
I'm
arc
arrested. I'm
too,
going to
because you saw it
prison.
all.
I'm going to prison. I was just walking, like white man walking down the beach. All of a sudden, I'm arrested. Oh, 5 years for walking? What the hell? Like, what do you mean? Why didn't he try to pay off the stormtroopers? Dude was rich at that point. Like, yeah, whatever. He don't know how to be white.
There's no white in the galaxy far away.
Yeah, man, no, it's messed up. So anyway, it's gonna be an interesting thing to see how you feel about it, Mo, after you get to watch it all. Like
Look,
fill in the gaps.
Today's show is gonna be.
I might not even never watch it. I think I'll leave it like this. Like I'm already willing to give it a 5-star rating. Like why take that?
Why take that?
I thought
Why
today's episode
mess
was
around and potentially
Mo's
mess that
take
up?
after finally watching it because he didn't watch it last week.
Say that again.
I thought today's show was going to be you and possibly Jay talking about the show because you guys hadn't watched it last week.
Well, we were drinking on Wednesday. I think that's why Joe's not here because he couldn't watch. He didn't get to watch Wednesday or the holiday special or Andor. So he's like, you know what? Maybe I'm not. I just play WoW and Warhammer.
I just like, wow.
Yeah, because he's like, because he's like, you know, Larry. Just so you know, I'm probably not gonna watch Andor, and I'm probably not gonna watch Wednesday. Although he wanted to watch Wednesday, so maybe he just didn't get to, and that's why he didn't come in. But and I told Larry too, like, you know, yeah, me neither. But I watched the final episode just so I could have something to contribute.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Next week's episode of Fantastic Forum is just going to be a live stream of Jay's MMO game.
I mean, I don't know why he's not doing that on Twitch for us. Like, it's built into his system, and
Jay,
he could do that.
Well, yeah, you know, Jay has a phobia regarding playing video games. Like he believes he's terrible at all of them.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because they're not going to know Jay is terrible. They're going to think Fantastic Forum's terrible, and that's fine. We are terrible. We're terrible at everything. We're terrible at social justice. We're terrible at giving an accurate review of things. The only thing we're good at is playing Snap collectively.
Wow. Maybe Mo, but I've seen clips.
How dare you?
I've seen your screenshots.
I finally recently cracked level 50. So I gotta share my deck with the rest of the group so y'all know how I did that. Like
what collector level you at? Look first let's just
all right, let's all put it on the table and measure.
Let's put our decks on the table, but not yet. Let's rate Andor.
Oh. Let me read.
What would you rate Andor, Oz?
5.
Okay.
I like it's a great sci-fi show and people should watch it.
Indeed. Moses Magnum, what would you rate Andor?
Yeah, I mean, I'd give it a 5. It's everything, like it actually is what I felt it would probably be like to read expanded universe things, but I didn't read those because I don't read books. So yeah, this is like they're doing it for TV, and I'm not gonna knock it. Like we talked about Boba Fett, we talked about Mando,
right.
Teams of the Jedi and all that stuff, and it's like they're giving me these diverse, and I'm not talking about race stuff or gay stuff. These diverse type of stories within the Star Wars universe, rather. I wish Star Trek would be a little more like this. The closest thing to this is some of those Prodigy episodes, but
really,
yeah, because they go to a world where like a red shirt got abandoned on that planet, and he told them about Starfleet, and they just turned it into a religion and way of life. So when they go back, it just like it's like the rapture to them. and it's fucking tight. But that's like you're watching a whole civilization grow in one episode, whereas here it's a long form episode of an aspect of the rebellion. It's just an aspect of the rebellion because not even the more militarized stuff that you see in like those scenes in like episode 4 and 5 and 6. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like more organized rebellion there than you do here. So it's like the beginnings of it, and it makes me really wish that Solo was a TV show because the movie Solo also felt like there was like 3 or 4 stories in it as well, and kind of rushed to me. I attributed that to the reshoots and all that, but it could have just been a TV show, and I would have enjoyed the recasting better if it was a TV show, and the ending would have been better if it was a TV show.
Okay. I think I have to give Andor a 5 too. Like, I just like it a lot. Like it's the like as far as like movies and TV shows go, it's like, Rogue One definitely started us off with like having a movie that was like in the Star Wars universe but wasn't necessarily about like Jedi, but at the same time at the end we still get like a Sith. So you still and look, I'm not knocking the movie for that because that scene is amazing. Like, and the culmination of Rogue One is phenomenal. I love it. What Andor does is basically just like give us a real kind of separation in that TV movie space where it's like we can tell stories in this universe that have absolutely nothing to do with Jedi and Sith, and you're still gonna love it. And it's like, yeah, it's great, man. I really enjoy it. So 5 out of 5 for me. All right. So what are we doing now? Like, what do y'all want to know?
I was asking what your collector level on Snap is.
Oh, that's the green. Yeah, the collection level. I'm 936.
God damn it. I mean, congratulations, Larry.
What's your collection level? Where are you at?
A 743.
That's good.
No, it's not.
570.
What about you, Oz?
576.
Yeah, see? So
well, I don't play it that often. I don't
Me
take
neither.
that many shit.
Listen, I'm not saying that you do or don't, and look, I don't feel like it reflects on either one of y'all that level.
Okay, what are your whatever level?
The little purple crown thing.
No, no, because that resets.
Yeah, but what are you at right now in this current season?
In this season, I am level 59.
Damn it.
56.
I mean, congratulations, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at 48.
Pussy. No, what's your
wait, why do you do like that? Wait, listen, you gotta get to 50, like
what's your
today.
your rank score? Because that's really what counts, right? That determines your pairings, your like you guys said,
right.
Go up, you're gonna get tougher opponents.
Right. I'm at 55.
Pussy.
You are not past 55.
No, I'm at 38, but he's still a pussy.
Oh. I'm at 44.
He said you are not past 55. No, listen, it's crazy because I'm like, damn, like, I didn't go down the whole thing at first.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I remember like in the last season, I was just trying to crack 50. And I was like, yeah, man, let me get to this 50. And I didn't even get to do it last season because it reset before I could do it. I was like, oh. But this season, I got, past 50. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then I'm like, man, like infinite, infinite's like, you got to get to 100 to get to infinite. And I'm like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
Like platinum, when you get to level 50, it's platinum. So like if you get agent is 5, iron is 10, bronze is 20, silver is 30, gold is 40. Then you get to platinum at 50. And because, a lot of the times like platinum is usually like the kind of the top tier that maybe they do like a diamond. And so I was prepared for the idea of like, oh, okay, there might be a diamond level, but that's just going to be like level 60 or something. And there is like diamond is level 60, but then level 70 is vibranium, level 80 is omega, level 90 is galactic, and then 100 is infinite. And I'm just like, damn, I'm not anywhere close to infinite. And then this joint's going to reset probably tomorrow.
I think 4 days. I just saw a little countdown on mine that said 4 days, but I don't know if it was for that.
Oh, I don't know. Like if there's a countdown, I missed it. So yeah, if it's 4 days, cool.
Yeah,
whatever. Because
it's the next season is gonna reset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says Warriors of Wakanda. There's 4 days, 22 hours left.
Yeah. Okay, so that's cool.
Actually, my original destroy deck started fucking up, and I got down to like 22. Like,
but you got all the way back up though. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I remodified my destroy deck and I shared it on our little like Snap group chat. So, if you guys tried it out or anything, let me know. But yeah, that destroy deck works a lot better. But I don't have any like one cost cards, so I have to skip the first. But it works because I win 5 cards, and I actually on our Hive, I tried to put it on our TikTok, and it didn't like TikTok. I fucking hate TikTok. It doesn't work. It just puts everything in drafts, but I can't even go into. I don't know where to find the drafts to actually try and upload it again. So it's not showing the draft, and it's saying every time I go back, it says it wasn't uploaded. So I uploaded on Hive. Hive sucks because they put it at like 0.5K, so you can't even see like what's written on the card.
Oh
and
no, it's all.
Our Twitter only lets us do like a 20-second video or some shit. So I can't I want to do it on YouTube, but the screen capture is not formatted for the YouTube screen. So I have to re-edit it, put it, And if I'm gonna do it on YouTube, I'm gonna do voiceover, which is gonna take time.
You can't do the YouTube on the. You can't do it on the shorts because the shorts are kind of like phone screen.
No, because so that's the thing. As I got higher in ranking with this new destroy deck, I'm actually playing a little slower. So it's almost like a 3 minute 20-second thing, and I was able to speed it up without losing any getting any sound warping. So I sped it up to about 240, and so I can probably do a Instagram reel, but Instagram reel only lets me do like a minute, like 2 minutes. So it's not. I don't want to speak much because I'm.
I hear you.
Part it's a tutorial, but I want people that play Snap to really see what's happening.
Right.
So, I don't know. I might have to try Vimeo and do it there.
There it is, Vimeo. That's what we need, like the FF Vimeo. But I'm gonna make sure that I send you all this discard deck that I'm using right now because that's what got me over 50. But it's like there are definitely some like series 3 cards in there, so you gotta some of the cards I'm using you may not have just because you have to get your collection level.
Well, what I was telling Jay when I saw him on Monday, because some of my he tried to use my destroy deck, but he doesn't have some of those cards. And I told him,
Right.
technically you can still play with that deck.
Right.
You just won't have, you might run out of cards at one point, and
You just modify it. Modify to
yeah,
some other
that's
cards.
another thing
Yeah.
I told him. Yeah, just modify it with something that powers up, and that could create a whole other deck. So that's how I
Right.
did my first destroy deck, because my first destroy deck
Hmm.
was your deck, and I didn't have like a couple, so I just threw in like the sunspot and the bishop.
Right. Right. Yeah. So yeah, it's a fun time, man. I'm excited to see where things go with the game, which I'm like, yeah, like I'm kind of blown away by the like how much or how well it's being received.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I wasn't sure if everybody was gonna like it, but it seems like they do.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a I that's what kind of kept me too from reaching a high rank in the purple little crown thing too, because I was disappointed when I realized that I could unlock everything, but if I didn't pay for it, I still wouldn't get it. In the last
Right.
Carnage, so I'm like, you know what, man, fuck this. Like, I'm like, I'm not gonna. So there. I think I spent a total of like 2 days where I didn't play at all, and
Hmm.
which didn't happen the first season, and I was just
Yeah.
discouraged by that little aspect of it. But I
Right.
get it, like I get it, like it's cool.
Hmm.
The game itself doesn't feel like a pay to play thing. I was talking to somebody at work
Right.
today, because sometimes customers come in and like, hold on one second, I'm beating the shit out of this bitch, you know, and and they're like, what are you playing? And then a
I tell
couple of
my
them,
wife when she walks into my room sometimes.
I'll ignore that for your sake. That fairy behind you told me to shut up. Um, but yeah, but one of my clients said that he was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, one of the Yu-Gi-Oh mobile games that kind of like he said it kind of did what this does, where it kind of like little the strategizing kind of does for you, like the little tediousness stuff of it. But
Mhm.
he felt that it was really like a pay to play thing. Like he just couldn't advance unless he bought shit. And this one doesn't. It gives you options to
Mhm.
buy shit, but you don't. You can still get those cards eventually. You just
Right.
won't. And it's more. A lot of the pay stuff is more aesthetic, which
Yeah.
sometimes I'd like. Like if I can get a Kukulkan Fede Serpent God variant for Namor, like I would pay $5 for that.
Right. Right. See, and that's the whole thing where it's like so far each month that the game has been out, they have a season, and technically there's only one card in that season that is exclusive to that month, and or that's exclusive to that season, and that card gets added into the other pools, I think either like 2 months from now or something like
Yeah.
that. And so, like, don't get me wrong, like there is a card, like for instance, like you mentioned before, like this season is Warriors of Wakanda, so there is a Black Panther card that
Hmm.
and they tied it in, of course, with the movie and all that kind of stuff. And so you can't get Black Panther as a card until I think maybe 2 months from now without paying for it. But it's one card, so it's just like like one card isn't going to necessarily make or break whether you win or lose the game
And
because
that card in particular, I played against that card.
yeah,
I've won.
right, exactly, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's definitely it doesn't feel like I'm at a disadvantage because I don't have the Black Panther card because realistically, it's like depending on what kind of deck you're playing, it doesn't even make sense. Like the deck I'm using right now, that I was like, oh, you all like, let me make sure I share this. Black Panther's not in that deck. Like I was playing with a deck that was centered around Black Panther because I did pay for the season and got the card because they have the event where you're like you get more stuff if you're using the Wakandan cards. But I was like it really wasn't. It wasn't. I wasn't playing it right for me to be a winner. It was like you know what? I did enough to do the event aspect, and then I switched to something different because I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to win more than I'm winning with this Black Panther deck. So I mean, yeah. So it definitely wasn't a pay to win thing at all. Don't get me wrong. And then the last deck had Miles Morales, which I think next in December, I think Miles Morales gets added to the pool, I think. So you can get that card as part of your deck, I think, as well now. So it's no, it the way that they've set it up so far seems really cool. And now they're added the token shop or whatnot so that you can literally target the cards you want. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm liking it. It's a really fun and interesting game.
Yeah.
You know what I say again?
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I was in our Discord earlier today, and so I came across the I think that was you that put the Dark Side Twitter thread where the artist was saying we should oh, maybe it was Joe where we should yeah, we should lean into the dark side mini skirt character design.
Oh yeah.
And so they had dark side kind of doing the whole a bad bitch pose with the mini skirt and squatting down and looking over his shoulder. I was just that joint cracked me up.
You barely saw
the funny. Yeah, like I said, I hadn't been in the Discord in a couple weeks.
No wonder nobody joins because I mean they want us to interact with, and you're never there.
No, I understand. And I'm gonna be better.
Oz is the favorite but not to interact with.
I know.
I'm just a pretty face.
Yeah, they just watch you handle your package.
But hilarious. But in Snap, I saw a Kim Jacinto variant of Apocalypse, and it 100% reminded me of Dark Side, like that bad bitch Dark Side art. And it's don't get me wrong, it's not Apocalypse is bending over or anything. It's just that version of this picture of Apocalypse looks it looks more dark side-ish. In fact, let me see if I can pull that up real quick and see if I can find it online. So
we got a question in chat. Okay. Derek H says Derek JH says it just hit me. Where are all the Jedi in the new Star Wars movies? Why didn't the hidden ones resurface after the fall of the Empire? And yeah, you could go to some of the expanded universe for that. There's the Outlander story. They gave you stories for that back before Disney bought them, but it's just it was Reconstruction. There was no real order anymore after the I mean, if you're talking about after the J.J. Abrams shit, then yeah, I have no answer. But if you're talking about after Return of the Jedi, there was a new Jedi Academy, there was Solo's kids, not Kylo, but Jason and Jaina. There's all those stories, so that was there. But yeah, and then Derek JH is also confused because you're talking about Dark Side, and he's like, the Empire isn't Dark Side though. And I think he's
isn't it?
I mean, he's taking the Trump and Kanye approach to it. I think. Yeah, that's what he said. He said they're just not the only people hiring. Yeah. So, but while you're looking for that, I'll start the music.
Oh, I got it. There it is.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely has like that kind of feel, that vibe to it, or whatever.
Like he's wearing the shorts that I imagined Kevin Bacon will be wearing at home in the Christmas special.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, man. Also, too, in our Discord, I saw that I think Jay also again in the art thread put the Rockafort like art thread, like one specifically for Cable, which Oz, I don't know if you've seen that Cable yet that Ken Rockafort did, but
No.
you need to go into the Discord and check that out, man, because I know you're a Cable fan, and that picture of Cable is like somebody commented in the thread, like, I'm pretty sure Marvel Snap's going to be calling you to do a series of cards, like in the near future, because this is like too good. And I agree. I was like, dude, like what in the world are we doing that like this guy is not out here? Like I understand that he doesn't draw books as much anymore, but why he's not doing covers at the very least, and why he doesn't get paid to do a series of Snap cards, I have no idea, because I would get every variant of his. Oh, why?
He was part of the January 6th insurrection.
Was he really?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, I was about to say. I was like, is that true? I don't even know.
That's the only reason he couldn't do comics. I don't think I think I'd still hire him after that, but but maybe he can't meet a deadline because of lawyers meetings or something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Cards, like you don't need no deadline for a series of cards.
There's a really good. I wish I had it. I posted it on our Instagram. I'll post it in our Discord too. Like, they did a Aqua cover for Aquaman #1, where it's like teal. It's like seafoam color, the cover, and out a white cover. And Dave Ryan did with Jason Momoa on it. That just looks amazing. And
that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, and then he did one for the Eternals. He actually sent me the one for the Eternals as I was posting the Aquaman one, and he's like,
"Oh wow!
He's like, why are you showing me this one?" I'm like, "I'm just praising this one on the internet right now." Like, and it was like a work in progress. And he's like, he just sent it to me as like a joke that I would get because our humors are the same. And he goes, "Don't you hate it when you run out of markers?" Because he was like coloring her face, but his colors are very subdued. Like they just add dimension. They're not like colored colors. You know what I mean? He works a lot with negative things. And it's like, and that's the joke where it's like, it looks fine the way it is, but he ran out of that marker to like add that dimension. And anybody would think it looks fine. He knows I would think it didn't look fine, and he knows it doesn't look fine to him. So but yeah, he's done some work on that too. So follow him at David Ryan at Dave.
Yeah.
David W. Ryan on Instagram. And
Dave Ryan's amazing.
Yeah, he's good. He's so good at it. Like I want to see one of his Snap variants.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would be an amazing thing too. I agree. Like a whole series of cards. I don't even know how they decide who's doing these series, and I don't know how they decide what cards they get to do. But
is he?
I feel like
right now.
He is not. I think for the next year, he said he wasn't doing any conventions for the next few years. Not next year. Next year and a half, because he's got actual work stuff.
Jeez.
But like he has got to, he's got to finish War of the Independence. And he has a whole publishing house that he has to run. So he kind of, through pandemic and everything, kind of took a step back a little bit and did commissions. And now then he got a little backed up. And but I think he can do commissions. He actually was in. I hope he doesn't mind me saying it, but it was on social media. He was in surgery this morning, So I'm sure in recovery
man.
he has time to draw. You know, I would say hit him up.
I have an idea. I'm looking for an
Yeah.
artist for it.
No. Like hit him up and ask him. You know, he knows you, so I'm
Hey,
sure he'll work with
He
you.
does. Like I have to toss your name in
Yeah, go ahead.
because he doesn't know me.
Yeah.
Like he's
But,
met me, but he don't know me.
Yeah, and no, he's doing good stuff, and yeah, that's tight 210.
Well,
There it is. A tight 210. Okay, cool. Listen, wait. Are you all ready for some final thoughts?
I thought that's what like the music's playing. What are we?
Y'all are just talking. Are these final thoughts, or does that count as your
Yeah.
final thoughts?
No, let's do final thoughts. Final
Oz, final thoughts.
Went through a lot of packages today, so coming soon.
He touched all his packages.
Like if I turn too much this way, you get a sneak peek. But I'm gonna turn back this way and block it.
I'm just happy the Death Claw's finished.
Oh,
Indeed.
yeah. It's back there.
There's a whole. I might make a Death Claw playlist.
You can
Like,
see it right there.
yeah, every time you thought you were getting the Death Claw, and then when you finally get it,
The box of disappointment. Like, why would the last piece of a Build-A-Fig be like 3 packages? Whatever. I'm not gonna. All right.
like you see it as 3 packages. It's like 10 videos. From an audience perspective, it's like we were right at the point where we didn't give a fuck, and then you brought us back. Loot Crate knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I guess.
That's hilarious.
I'm glad you guys enjoy my and disappoint.
And always, perpetually. No,
That's why I
Most Magnum. Final thoughts.
Hey, we got LA Comic Con next week, so we might bring content from there.
This weekend.
There was the Return of Kal-El was this week. I wish it came out yesterday. I didn't get a chance to read it. Otherwise, I would have tried to shoehorn that in today. But yeah, hopefully, maybe we get to talk about that next week. But yeah, you're only gonna find out if you hit likes, subscribe, and hit the bell, and maybe
There
you'll
it
see
is.
what Kal-El Returns looks like.
There it is. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We will be back next week. Like Mo said, we'll talk about LA Comic Con and whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. So let us know. Hit us on social media. Let us know what it is that you're interested in so that we can go ahead and bring that to the show and bring it to you. So, thank you all for hanging out with us. We always appreciate the support. We are the Fantastic Forum. Good night.